Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Did you guys enjoy that intro? Let me know if you did, because if you did, definitely put those diamond hands up. Quick shout out here to everybody. Lego, Spartan, Valdo, Dave G, Siddharth, Johnny Bravo, Warren, My Tommy, C. Harrison, Laura, Big Digs, MC. Lots and lots of people coming through. Don't worry. We're still here. I know you're saying muted. It should be up now, though. There we go. Yeah. So a little bit of a weekend job, that one. Put some effort in there. But no, it should be working now. Perfect. All right, cool. Good to hear, guys. All right. So, what's been happening? I'm getting phone calls coming in. I'm assuming that's people telling me I was muted. What's been happening this Monday? It's all been about metals. It's all been about silver, crude as well, and we've actually had some pretty nice greens this morning. Missed the intro. How could you miss the intro? I'll tell you what, I'll play it one more time for you guys. You guys want it again? One more time? See if I can load it up. Here we go. There we go. And the wrist warning, of course. I was right. Those people were messaging me just for the things that Tom does in his spare time, says Lego Spartan. I couldn't resist that one. So yeah, look, metals are probably the story of the Monday heating into the market. This is what we're seeing. Now, I know someone said white, again, don't worry, we'll go black. We'll be going the black screens very, very soon. It's only as simple as just going like this, but I do use the white ones for when we create videos on the channel. So did anyone get involved in crypto today? Crypto had a bit of a fall off. We saw Ethereum, Bitcoin, everything else kind of move down a little bit. I guess it's probably a good place to start, but I do want to talk about metals because I think a lot of them are showing promise. Silver is showing promise. Gold, not so much. Platinum has been showing promise for some time, and I think oil kind of hit our target as well. So that was quite nice to see oil hit the $60. Anyone that was in it, perfect little target. Now we wait for the next one. This is something I'm looking at this week. We'll start with the dollar index here before we go into the crypto. Dollar index 4 hour. Check this out. So we've had a decline here, guys, that's come through. It's hit this level multiple times. So actually put it right on. So zoom this in. Get these a little bit bigger for you. And there's the support. See how clean this 90-25 support is? Every time we've seen accumulation at this point, buyers coming back in, getting control. We're on a Monday here with relatively little trade volume, but it could be not too long until we see a decline under this point. We see a closure under this point. That will trigger trades on Euro US dollar. It'll trigger a whole bunch of different Forex trades as well. And of course, strength from the US dollar will be out. If we hold here and we move back up, we have to see a break of this point before we're even convinced that it's going to go long. It's pretty much that simple. The good thing about technical analysis is you end up creating levels, especially where you get like a 1, a 2, and a 3. Let's say it comes back up, hits maybe the 200 here, and then bounces back down. You know that once it closes through, it really meant to do so because it basically did everything. Think about it. We came down again, tested it, found some buying pressure, went to the 90-40, hit resistance, and then straight back down and through. That actually is a stronger signal in many ways than just going bang straight through. This can cause a lot of fake out. think about how the market breaks. If the market comes back up and does a lower peak, what's it telling us? It's considered all angles. It's considered the bull case again. It's considered, no, that wasn't fair value. Push it back through. A few people said crypto is a little bit scary. Yes, crypto can be a little bit scary. I actually do think that we will see a major correction at some point, but when, who knows? I would have thought there'd be this. It looks like crypto is definitely in a good cycle right now, and it's got a lot more support. I saw an article today, and we'll go through those articles soon, but the article was talking about how this particular crypto run has not been anywhere near as unstable as last run in 2017. I tend to agree with them straight away. First Last says, but BTC always dumps less. I think that's a mixture of just people are very convinced that it's going to go up. At the moment, you haven't broken any sentiment. So the dump on Bitcoin isn't as severe as something else. Like, look at XRP today. It's making its comeback right now, but this particular one just doesn't have much faith in it. Look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin probably won't come back unless Elon tweets about it. Let's go through a few others here. Keith Milliken says, good idea. Brought me back up to my computer on volume going back up. Okay. Also, intro, very much love it. Such a show. Thank you, Diego. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. All crypto coins dump at the same time. Weird. I'd say that's a mixture of algorithms and just in general, probably algorithms. And people do that. But it usually runs in some kind of synergy. Matthew Tainch says, crypto market always does these sharp flash crashes before breaking a significant level. That's true. The flash crash today wasn't that deep, I think. Obviously 10%, 15%. Some cryptos went 20%. Not a massive amount. DXY, something to watch, 90.25. Anyway, that's our first one here, dollar index. If you're thinking about trading something like this, you'll always go to the euro US dollar for anyone that trades trades Forex. You go to the euro, and the euro becomes the inverse trade, where if you're seeing weakness in dollar, you're going to see strength in the euro. Now, last week, I kind of called around this area here that I thought we'd see some weakness with the pullback before we move to the next zone. We break past this 121.50. Where do I think it goes? Probably the 121.80 where the market structure is. So we've got like a very nice short, sharp kind of movement here. Pushes up to the 121.80. Previous resistances. It's a very strong resistance level. Remember, a lot of people don't realize this, but if you don't trade Forex, a lot of our people in our community do trade Forex. But if you don't trade Forex, it's actually one of the best places to see market structure happen all over the place. Crypto historically hasn't had much market structure. But nowadays, Bitcoin and Ethereum, some of the big coins, they actually trade really, really nicely. So 121.825 would be my target there. And you break past that level, and then you're starting to talk some pretty serious numbers. Every kind of 20, and then possibly even back into the 123. This is basically lining up for some kind of massive inverse head and shoulders if it continues to kind of struggle around this area as well for quite some time. Euro, US dollar there. All right, let's move over to Bitcoin. Let's talk about what happened today on Bitcoin. Here is Bitcoin 4 hour. We can see that it did fall down, but look at this bullish buying. Anyone tell me what this candle is here? This is a very nice candle followed by a second kind of dump. So we had the dump candle, strong buying, came back, put pressure back on this 46,000, and you can see why the pressure's back on. This is a typical kind of bull buying scenario. Matthew said it before. Matthew Tainch, what did you say? The BTC always does this before it goes and breaks a significant level. This is the type of setup we see. Double rejection wicks, hammer candle, which I'm sure many of you will instantly figure out, and then we see the movement up. 48,000 right now for BTC, and it looks incredibly strong. If I was a betting man, this would look like it's really getting ready for that 50,000 level. Double rejection. We haven't got the 4 hour close above yet, but we certainly do have the break of that 20 from the top down. It would have to fail miserably here right now, and it doesn't look like it's going to do so. First Last says institutions piling into BTC. Yep. So Morgan Stanley were considering doing it. That probably means they've done some of it. A few people say hammer time. Kevin N, Johnny Bravo. Absolutely. Hammer, pin bar, whatever you want to call this. KW Gamer says, what do you think of Cardano? I like Cardano a lot. I owned it back in 17. I've always been a bit of a fan of it. I knew it was going to be a big thing and a big coin. That being said, I'm still a massive fan of Ethereum as well. I'm more of a fan of Ethereum than BTC. I understand it's a store of wealth, but I don't actually trade BTC that much. I trade it in CFDs or futures contracts, but I do not actually buy it that often. I usually buy Ethereum and trade from there. So BTC is looking really, really good. Let's have a look at the other coins. Ethereum, we mentioned that before. Another bullish buy off here. Let's check the 4-hour. Again, double wick rejection. Not as good as the BTC chart, which probably shows that there's not as much strength in this one. BTC is where all the sentiment is. Looking like it's going for another break. I've mentioned a few times, I think Ethereum is actually quite undervalued. So part of that reason is if you have a look at an ETH-BTC chart and you consider where Ethereum is in relation to BTC over time, to me, this chart is damning towards Ethereum being undervalued. Ethereum has a network. It's right on support right now. Heaps and heaps of things here point to me to thinking we've got resistance into support. What a great zone. Absolutely amazing area where you would think Ethereum is about to really pile up. What do you guys think? Do you reckon Ethereum is undervalued to BTC right now? Let me know. By the way, thank you to the 356 viewers that are joining us. There is no stock market today, we know, but there is futures markets, crypto markets, Forex markets, commodities markets. We'll be looking at all of those. Gilas waking up 5:44 a.m. here from Texas. Thank you very much. Did you miss the intro? Make sure you skip back, Gilas. Have a look. Jason Hing says GME. GME will look at it, but it won't be open today. Keith Milliken says Morgan Stanley only wants to trade on speculation, not to invest thus far. I agree. A lot of these banks are getting in it to try to make money. Some people will be holding. They might have some portions though. Think about it. If you had like every fund and every fund put 1% or 0.5% of their money in crypto, like they do in alternatives. So in a fund breakdown, you always look at, let's say it's a balanced fund. You'll see about 7% of the money will generally be put in alternatives. Now, they can be all sorts of things, but traditionally it's been things like maybe silver, gold, different materials, metals, etc. This particular portion, if they put 0.2% in it, imagine the impact that would have on cryptocurrency. So if you do get these guys investing in it, because basically people just calling up saying, I demand it in my portfolios, it'll be massive. Spot price says, hope so. I'm in Ethereum. Matthew Tainch says, ETH way undervalued, the most undervalued. I believe it is pretty undervalued. As a portion to Bitcoin over time, we've seen it go up to the 0.86, seen it go even higher than that over that 17 run. I'm feeling this area here, this 0.1 to 0.8, 0.08, 0.1 to 0.08. These are my zones that I'll be watching for and then making potential like transfers into other coins. I'm kind of looking at these areas here as technical zones and technical areas. I would draw basically a rectangle in this area here, set alerts for it on something like TradingView, and then you could come back and you could say, okay, do I want to hold my Ethereum now that it's back up here, considering that every single time in the chart history, and we always talk about this, it hasn't been able to hold this level very long. So if we get up here again, how long has it held it traditionally? It hasn't held it long. It's been pretty sporadic around this area. Here from Germany, 12:46 p.m. Thank you very much, Puppy Johnson. Appreciate that. Any chance of looking at FSR? Cool if not. We'll have a look probably. Remind me a little bit later there. So ETH-BTC, one to watch. Another one that we're looking at, or I'm looking at anyways, XRP. This is a very weird, dangerous coin because, of course, you've got the SEC on it. But basically, this has just found support again. Buying pressure coming back through. You'll notice here again, not as good as Bitcoin. Just not as good.
I'll take your entire stock.
This particular zone here, struggling around. It's bought up the 50. We clearly have a resistance, and that's really what I'm banking on here. But I don't particularly like this coin. I just think that if the SEC stuff isn't as bad, or if people try to have a run on it, could be very interesting. Lego Spartan coming in with SGD $5. Thank you very much, Lego. Does Bitcoin get more stability once more companies start adopting it? Yes. Yes, it will. the more companies that are in it and the more, well, when you say more companies start adopting it, I assume you mean more investors there, Lego. Thank you very much for the donation. If there's more investors in it, then especially big long-term holders, then yeah, absolutely, we'll get more stability. Does anyone know the statistic on how much Bitcoin is theorized to have been lost? As in it's stuck in wallets that people can't access? I know people that have got Bitcoin stuck there, so I'm sure there's a few others. Hey mate, sorry about that, BitBoy. You can't. You're gonna have to be hidden and in timeout. Unfortunately, you can't advertise in this stream. So yeah, XRP, all about this 64 zone, 0.64. If it breaks through that, I think it could be quite aggressive to 75. It's created beautiful structure up there, and just like any technical analyst, this is the zone that you're looking at. All right, so that's my thoughts on the first couple of cryptos. We've also got ADA. This is a popular one here. Let's load up that. Use Kraken data. This has got very nice. Ooh, actually, it went down a little bit more than I thought today. Nice pickup, guys, if you got on this one. Beautiful pin happening here on the daily. Just shows you very nice moves coming off that 30th. I'm actually a fan of this coin from a perspective of what they're trying to achieve and what they have achieved. What a beautiful zone for having your limits. If you had your limits on something like Binance or whatever else you use. Resistances become support. Who said TA doesn't work, guys? This is a beautiful area to try to just have like a set limit to maybe buy if that was what you want to get in on. And right now, you're reaping that reward, of course, of 0.85. I didn't realize it got down to a 0.7, actually. I hadn't looked at the chart yet. So ADA, yeah, this is a very nice area. Very strong buying. Shows that people have a lot of confidence in this coin. Remember, when the confidence comes in, that's what you want to look for. Powerful returns. You look at something like Doji. We load up that versus, let's say, US dollar here on Bittrex. You'll notice that the return is not as strong. Okay, percentage-wise, it's doing okay, but it's been in a decline mostly through this, and it requires, of course, that pump and dump mentality. This is not what I would call an incredible kind of return for this coin. Same process, double rejections. That's why it's coming through. It's going to start struggling, though, I would say right here. So don't be surprised at all if this coin today, and we'll watch this throughout the stream, actually. We'll leave this one up. Start struggling around this previous support equaling resistance area. It's getting very close right now. We'll keep watching Dogecoin, but ADA, beautiful pickup. Robert Sanchez says, I lost 3 Ether last week and I'm not sure where to report it. I'm not even sure if you can actually get it back. I'm not sure. I've never personally lost it, but yeah. Dave G says, wow, that never even made it to my chat screen. Lol, Tom, too fast for Siddharth, for us, Siddharth Mali. Yeah, look, I don't like, when I see phone numbers in the chat, I get rid of it. It's like every single second post that's on the YouTube channel is literally somebody trying to impersonate me. And just a quick reminder, if you ever see FX Evolution, join his WhatsApp or something like that, please do not click that stuff. I will never, ever, ever post. Well, firstly, I don't have a WhatsApp for the business, but I'll never, ever post that. Let's have a look at silver here and the other metals. So silver starting to regain some composure, finding resistance at 27,619, really starting to push the pressure here. 2780 is our target for this kind of move, and anything above that could put a big move on silver. I'm tending to think this could be a fake move here, being the Monday and being a bit of a low volatility day, low trade volume day, but it is trading technically. Previous resistance was broken, came down, buy support off the 20. This is a good little day trade opportunity because you've got actually a few things playing out here, and we'll show you what I would do. So if I see like a resistance, and a resistance, notice I draw through this body because all these wicks were unable to break through on the 1 hour. So I draw through the body. I see here that there's support being found. I'd probably draw a fib through this. It'd be the 50 fib, I'd say. Looks about 50% of the way through. Chuck it on just for you guys to see. Let's do that right now. 50 fib. Yep, right around it. It's always going to, you'll just see it in the end. That's why half the time I don't put this stuff on. Then you see a bounce. you can pretty much pick this order up because it's what I call a classic 1, 2, 3 scenario. So you've got 3 resistances. It most likely is going to act as support. And when you have a 20 as well at the same point, it's a great area just to go, okay, I'm going to snap by that into the highs. This is a classic day trading opportunity that's very, very common. And when you see it, it's always worth considering in your style. Kevin N said, would buy the dip for sure on silver. This particular dip was very nice for a day trade. I'm not sure if it's a great investment level. Investment levels and trading levels are very different, as I'm sure you're aware. They've got this, I've got a guy on the stream that doesn't like me very much. He keeps posting a bit of hate, but he keeps saying, you're talking about trading now, you were talking about investing a week ago. Yeah, I like both. I think there's a place for both. But investing levels, you want to be pinpointing just solid rounds, solid like long-term kind of hold levels. This is more of this is a great trading level. Jill S says, is AMC done with? R says, hi, Tom. Hello, R. Good to have you here. Is AMC done with? So let's see where the AMC held happened on Friday, just for people that are interested in that one. So this is AMC. We had that 650. It's still holding. Look, AMC, the trade itself is done with for now. But the thing about this is there'll be one last probably spurt in it. And that's because people, when you least expect it, let's say it hovers here for a while and creates market structure. I've said this for some time. Create the confidence. Someone then has a go at it. Maybe they pump group it through Wall Street bets or whatever else happens. And you will see a resurgence for a little while if it can continue to hold here. Now, if it degrades anywhere more, I think it's over. It must really hold these levels. Pyro Tester, I'm a beginner trader. I'm trading on BitVavo. Is that good? I'm not sure about the BitVavo. Can anyone else let Pyro know if that's any good? Not sure. I got a thing saying Doji is breaking. Oh, it's not breaking yet. It's basically right around that same zone. We're talking about this area here, 0.0625. If it gets up there, I think there could be some big problems. So AMC holding the zone, GME is the same. Look how it's creating the structure. Now, what I would do here is I'd always load volume onto the charts whenever you're looking at these things. And why you look at volume is you start doing some volume analysis. As it holds this level, is there any accumulation that's not picking it up? So is there any like big orders that come through or something that's hidden yet price isn't boosting at that point, or price boosts, comes down, more volume starts playing around with it? This type of volume isn't going to get it done. See how the volume here spiked? Obviously it did, but the volume, the two preceding this one, see how there was this weird volume? Where is it? Here it is here. There was a strange volume that spiked and then failed. That usually means when it held that level, there's a chance that you might be seeing more interest into it. We haven't had any good volume now for some time. So you might see a spike dump like here. And then if you think that's going to hold or you're already in it, then you might see that next move. Anything over 62 is going to be the clean area you need to clear for GME. Until you get above that, there'll be no confidence there could be another run on it. Frankie Tamaka says, how far do you think Doge is dropping? I don't know. This coin requires pumps. So in terms of how far I think it dumps, I go back in the weekly if I had more data. This particular coin doesn't have anywhere near this value. This is purely a sentiment play that's based on, okay, there's a chance Elon pumps it again. We can make money off that. People are interested in it right now, and it's obviously a meme. If people weren't interested in it, as soon as that interest level dies out, it's like any other thing. Look at marijuana stocks. When they came through last year, 2018, it was insane. The hype was real. We'll have a look at Tilray soon. I've got Tilray set up here. But that particular stock went crazy. We'll just load it. I'll show you. People forget how high these stocks got back in the past. Look at the hype. That was insane hype, guys. And for people that just go into the market, they forget these things exist. This is what happens every time. The pump, the dump, and then, of course, the business wasn't as viable as people thought. But that's the pump, the dump. So that's this is my opinion of Doji. The Doji coin. I think it's this. Siddharth says GME yawn. Yeah. GME is... See, Siddharth's sick of it. KW Gamer says you have some good insights at FX Evolution. You even advise others. Well, I never advise, hopefully. I just talk about things. Not to invest in some highly volatile crypto like Doge. I'm definitely not a fan of Doge. To me, it's a gamble. And I don't really like that. Like, when you gamble, it's you know what it is. It's not making an investment choice. That's good, traditionally. Big Diggs says, I got crushed on pot stocks in 17. I'm feel for you, Big. And look, the problem is, Big Diggs, it's not easy to get it back. Like, it's not coming back. $300 isn't coming back. I could say to someone, you know, you could get Doji back, but you'll need the perfect events. The GME at 470, you'll need the perfect events. That's unfortunately the truth about it. Chris Ashy says, bruh, markets are closed. Why do you have stocks in the title? I didn't think I had any stocks in the title. I have the back on it. Oh, GME and AMC's there. We can get rid of those. There you go, dude. S&P can be there, though, because it's open. It's in the futures. Good one there, Roy. I see it. Yeah, so Ethereum, Bitcoin, all of those, very interesting. But at the same time, the Doge one is not for me. FBTC, as I said, back on support for anyone that missed it. This is right on the support zone, which kind of makes me think maybe Ethereum is getting ready for that next move. Let's now have a look at some of the other markets. Let's have a look at gold and see what's going on there. So we'll jump down into the gold levels. We saw that silver was having quite a nice recovery. Is gold doing the same? First things I always like to do is look at, well, firstly, I go monthly, top-down analysis. Monthly, draw up your support. Here it is. We've got this strong support through this level. Hasn't been able to get under there. If we look out a little bit further, nothing much else to note. Okay, fair enough. Bunch of weakness being seen recently. Maybe it's time for gold to get a bit more interesting at some point. Then you look at a weekly. Look at this horrible close here. We get a full rejection wick down. What do we know that means? Well, of course, we get back under here. We probably go into our support. Probably find some buying pressure here. There's not much buying pressure all the way through this zone. There really isn't. But if we get above this area, well, of course, we're going to push 1875. But all of these wicks, this red zone I've got highlighted, I have that highlighted for a reason. If gold breaks through here, I believe it's back in the uptrend. And we're going to see 1900 very quickly. And we're going to see 1950, 1960 very quickly. I've got that for a reason. That's why I have that on the chart. And I'm not going to take that one away. Because that is truly a great level here for the zone. Yeah, Kevin, I'll have a look at lumber if you'd like. Why not? Here's what gold's doing right now. It's going the opposite way of silver. Silver's going up 1.18, so is platinum, but gold's being manipulated down. I have a feeling a bit of this is actually possibly money coming out of gold and going into Bitcoin. I really do. The kind of investor that would hold gold may go, okay, I want to look for alternatives right now, and one of them could be BTC. So yeah, gold 1820 right now. I would expect maybe some support. There's no clear direction here for me. It's very murky. You look at the structure here, again, very murky. You know that if it gets back up to the 1830, this zone will act as resistance. Previous supports all the way through here. Look how many times it touched it. Wick, 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 wick. Buying. Now, if it gets through this zone, we're back into kind of some buying pressure. But this 1830 will be one that I'm looking at over the next 24 hours. I think it probably won't hit until we see the US market open. We will look at Tilray. Don't worry, the business. We'll look at Tilray. We'll also look at Tesla. Thomas Love says, hi, Tom. Tesla need to buy gold. Probably they do, Thomas Love. Probably they do. Actually, it's worthwhile looking at Tesla because that was an interesting hold we had there. 800 held. The market had that magical recovery in the back end. Look at this 2-hour pin bar hammer followed by some buying pressure. I was worried. I was very, very worried for Tesla not to hold this. I thought on Friday or Saturday, I went to bed. I thought this is going to look very dicey. We get a close under this 800 level on the daily, and all of a sudden, we're opening up 750 for sure for Tesla holders. So Tesla holders were redeemed. The buying pressure came back through, but this 800 is worthwhile setting alerts for the rest of the week. There's no doubt that 800 is just a critical zone for daily breaks and movements now. Pretty big weakness coming in here. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high to be determined. Strong buying, but everything's still looking weak here for Tesla. It must break, get higher, move through. Right now, just not doing that for us. Kunal says, I'm bag holding on gold. Well, hopefully, look, gold does get you some returns. I think it's time for gold to get above that 2,000 level. What are my views on XRP? Yeah, so we had a look at XRP before. We will go back to that just quickly. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. So it got a nice close there on 4-hour. Double rejection, showing the momentum, the bullish hammer coming through here, guys. Everything looking really, really good. XRP, kind of similar, a little bit weaker recovery because it's got that SEC stuff on it. What do you guys think? Do you think that XRP will get past the SEC easily? Let me know, yes or no. Will XRP, or Ripple in general, get through this SEC thing? If it does, it's going to be huge. Huge if it gets through, just with some fines or something like that. Maybe back and accepted back. I noticed that Japan was accepting it at a bunch of their brokerages still. Because, of course, if XRP is not easy to trade, luckily Binance still have it, then it won't go up very much. 64 is the key resistance. We break through 64, starting to think 75 for this one here. Carlos says yes. Mr. 187 says draw the trend line on Tesla. Depends which one you're talking about. Trend line, for me, I'd be just drawing the horizontal, and then you could draw through here, if that's what you're saying. You could draw through these series of lower highs. Probably go to a 1 hour or 2 hour for that. See how it's going through all those highs. So you could say that if it comes up here, might find some resistance. And if it does something like this, then that's, or like anything like this, then all of a sudden you're talking about a descending triangle, and of course 800 breaks going to be even more critical for it. The business says, are you holding Doji? No. Maro says XRP is the worst coin. It's not the worst. It's the worst is probably coins that literally have no backing, but it's not great, is it? So far we've seen silver looking like it's going up to that resistance. We've seen gold, literally impossible to tell what the hell's going on with that right now. We've got dollar index, which has got beautiful support on it. Really nice support through this 90.25 coming into the Monday. Let's have a look at a few stocks. So we've got the Tilray. Let's have a look at the Tilray. So this stock, of course, massive pump from Wall Street bets, failed, and then went back down. The question is, where is value for this stock? So the daily was horrible. All right, the daily was bad. It ended up coming up, hit around that 35. I'm pretty sure Siddharth might have been on this one. And it hit 35, couldn't get through it, couldn't get to the 40. Let's have a look at the 1 hour price momentum, just have a look at what happened previously. So there's so many important zones here for Tilray traders. There's the $40, there's now the 35 kind of 60 zone, and then there's actually the support that it's on right now, which was previous resistance. So it fails this level. Where does it tend down to? Possibly all the way down to the 24 or the $20. I tend to think that there's probably another one in this one. Now, whenever you see a pump like this, especially with Tilray that has a fair business underneath it at valuations, this type of thing makes me think, okay, there could be some buying pressure. We saw that rejection kind of daily push down candle. You break above 35 and you just watch sentiment go bullish again. So this 35.56 is such a critical zone. 20, 50, all meeting together a break close of this, sentiment's back, and that could happen way more than, of course, a GME or an AMC. Pierre says, do you think the dip last night, obviously talking about the crypto dip recently, caused by Chinese New Year, maybe then? I don't know if that's really what it was. Siddharth says, Tilray was a 4-figure day Friday. Yeah, I figured you might have got on this one. This was a great pickup zone for Tilray. That open was pretty wild. We did that one live, and we certainly found some interesting levels there. What a great zone, but it's come back down straight away. So this was clearly a great take profit. 40 was another one. Now, if it bounces off this level again, it's going to be the 35, then it's going to be the 40. These psychological levels for retail traders are huge. 35, 40 for Tilray. Very interesting stock. I will be watching that one next. I'll be watching it tomorrow with you guys during the open. I'm very interested in this one. Kevin says, would like to see Tilray grind to 24. Yeah, well, if it grinds down to 24, then we've got the previous support here. But I think, look, for me, this stock starts to make me think at those levels, I'm actually interested in it. Like long-term investing. Not this craziness, but long-term. Down here, 20, 24, after all the news that's come out. Okay. It's interesting to me. Certainly worthwhile considering and making your own decisions on, of course. All right, let's go over here. I've got a few requests for PLTR. This one here just coming back into the support zone. Previous resistances right around that 30 will act hopefully as support. $30 is the key zone here. We're at 32 right now, PLTR. I do think a little bit of the hype's coming out of it. It kind of makes me think that it's coming back down, but that just depends on a lot of the searches. Now, one of the ways we can actually look at the searches is we can use something like unbiased stock to find out. And I noticed this guy is improving his website. Check this out. We'll refresh it. Look at this. He's got trending cryptos on here now. We can select a subreddit. We can go to cryptocurrencies. We go last 12 hours, compare them. It's awesome. XLM ADA, popularity, of course, up here. .uni. You can see all the ones that are being searched. It's very, very cool. XRP up there, ETH, BTC. So it's very, very interesting to have all these ones. Google trending stocks. Notice the stocks that are here at the moment. Got Twitter trending stocks. They sometimes a little bit more. I find these are a bit more roboted. Sometimes the stocks don't make that much sense. Here they are. And then, of course, you've got the Reddit trending stocks as well. You can go Wall Street bets, last 12 hours, what's everyone talking about? The normal ones. Would you hold on to Sundial? Sundial is a very different stock to something like Tilray. So SNDL, you look at this stock, it's still finding support and everything, but it's a very dangerous stock. From what I understand, the fundamentals behind this make very little sense. It was pretty much a meme stock, and you've got to trade a meme stock accordingly. If you're going to be in a meme stock, what do you know? It's all about sentiment to the moon, and then, of course, any return back is going to be very heavy pressure. So basically, you've got sentiment to the moon, then when it all ends, it's bad. It's like those pump dump kind of things that go on in crypto. You pump it up, and then when someone's left holding the bag, unfortunately, you just don't want to be that. But you must know that that's what you're getting into. Watching this dollar index here moving up a little bit during the stream. I just noticed that it's starting to go. Let's have a look at let's quickly look around here at the coin market. So this has grown about $460 billion in the last, week and a half, 2 weeks. So very, very large moves. Of course, that's driven by Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks like it kind of wants to go to that market cap of $1 trillion. Why not? By that point, Ethereum has to be moving higher with it. It's got to be trying to connect back to BTC's valuation shares. Cardano just overtook XRP again. So the pull up there in a Cardano is taken off XRP. You'll probably see some XRP buying just to try to get it above Cardano again. But without the SEC, getting away from this one's going to be very tough. LiQWYD comes back into the play here. Chainlink, of course, the new one on the block. Stellar, one from 17 as well. I know there's a few people in this room that love that coin. Monero, interesting one. This one, I never liked that. Oh, I actually thought that would be dead by now, but it's not for some reason. And then the rest. So from the interest I always have, it's usually in those kind of top 20, 10, 20 coins. Some people have been talking about indices in them. Just remember the index is in those ones is not actually the proper index. So what I mean by that is it isn't actually weighted the correct way. It's usually got like 25% XRP, 25% Ethereum, 25% Bitcoin. Because if it was weighted correctly, it would be a huge amount BTC and nothing else. Here we've got the weekly coming through. I just wanted to show you this. This was shared in our private Discord today, and I think it's really good ones. VIX 3 months divided by the wicks here. So VIX. So you can basically see there's two kind of hover points. But notice these hover points that you can see here in the daily. I'll show you this. Check this out. So during the pullbacks, let's take a look at March last year. It got down to like this 0.7 reading. Very low. In fact, it's only been there once, and that was during that massive pullback that happened in 18. Now, if you go through the markets and you actually time a lot of these in with these VIXs hitting this level or hitting these 0.8 zones, you'll find that this actually is predicting pretty solidly some of the better areas to invest back into the stock market. So it's actually not a bad one to have in your market, in your kind of analysis. And then you add that together with your other reasons, your technical supports, or maybe it's picking up off a double bottom or something like that. And it's quite good. It also usually picks euphoria in the market fairly well as well. So we've got euphoria coming back through here. Take a look at this. We had euphoria appearing in July, and then it picked back up in that 31st of August. So it gave a bit of a false reading here, but there was a pullback. And then we got euphoria again just before September last year, and we saw what happened after that. Where are we right now? Right on the euphoric kind of VIX here, above the 1.3. We haven't been above that zone for quite some time. Notice again, the pullbacks that generally have occurred in the markets, all of it's been around this point where the 1.33 has been reached, or the 1.3 plus has been reached. So it's worthwhile having that on there. Again, VIX, 3M/VIX, if you want that code. Let's have a look at how copper's doing today, and we'll read some articles together. So copper, beautiful, continued bullish pressure. When copper's going strong, it's hard for the stock market to usually be failing. Copper bounced off that 3.5, found a new high, trading at 3.8 now. Go out to the monthly here. You'll see that copper's going back up to those August 11 kind of peaks. If you have more history, still this is a very high point. This is the type of market that you see when demand from governments comes through. And also this monthly will be an incredibly strong close if it gets through this wick rejection. So there was a rejection wick there, looked like a shooting star, bit of a pin bar to the downside, couldn't make a new low, and then all of a sudden reversed. Things were looking pretty bad there technically, but it just held that zone way too well. So copper, Dr. Copper for the markets, it's looking really good. Now we mentioned before, oil, platinum, silver, the metals of the day. Oil futures reached 13-month high as global stocks advance with US market shut. So oil is actually bulling super hard right now. It hit that target of 60. Now does it go towards 65? I believe this is kind of that zone where we should start to see it consolidate for a little bit and then move on to 65 after that point. Very interesting zone. What do you guys think about oil? Do you reckon it'll hit 65 before it has a pullback? Let me know. Jake McDonald says, XRP market cap is huge relative to its price. If they can get through the SEC, there will hopefully be a price correction and hopefully see a rise as high as $20. Wow, that's a big amount if it goes that high. If they do get through the SEC, though, I wouldn't be surprised at all to have some very large XRP days. But $20 is incredibly huge. Jager Croft says, with pump and dumps, you have to get out quickly when it raises and you think you're in Vegas being happy. with your maid. Yeah, but pretty much, yes. If you are in a pump and dump, you have to always have a get out of jail plan. What is that? Let's say the market's going like this. You can always tell a pump and dump because it will just go super vertical. When it goes super vertical like this, it's unsustained. So what you have to have is a get out plan. Now, one of those get out of plans can be like this. Market comes down, and then sometimes it instantly rejects and comes back up. Let's have a look at Tilray to see if that gave you that opportunity. Let's have a look at Tilray. Now, I'm going to argue it does give you the opportunity. And this is just towel. This is your towel. Generally, it's not going higher. Now, it wouldn't have worked on GME because GME was incredibly unique. I remember what happened there. So GME went 150 down to 70, back up to 150 or 200 or something on the next day. That had incredible slingshot, and it had another slingshot after. But this one here went this much pre-market, got busted down hard back down here, and then fully almost bounced up. This is pretty much your, don't ever aim for the high again. If you can get like a 76.8 or a 61.8 fib pullback on any of these kind of clutch, like big crash and then pull-ups, you should be very thankful. Could it go to $400 and you say, oh, why'd I get out? Well, maybe you use different portioning. Maybe you try, one third approach. But when that happens, that flash crash of 20% to 30%, usually it's 30% or more. When that happens, no good. Get the hell out. Keith says, yes, it's going to hit 70. Pull back first, a few people say. All right, let's have a look at US oil. Get this one up as well. Need to see if they can give me a few different profiles actually for this. So US oil hits the $60. Let's have a look at what our target was on this and why we designed that target. So we had what I would call a quintessential flag. This was a absolutely amazing looking flag. Our target was 60 on the flag based on the previous kind of movement here from here to here. Let's take the distance. That was kind of our movement there. Now, the reason we were taking 60 is because it's a psychological zone. And the other thing about this move here is while it did come off the resistance, I usually cut it a little bit. So say you take like that. Usually the way I do it is from the bottom up. And I know a lot of people will take it from here to here. But I usually just go, this bottom here is where I'm happy. And then I look for the psychological and I take it off at 80%. So we've hit the 60. There is resistance across the 65. That's where the ultimate target is here for oil for me. Supports, resistances. I had a lot of oil stocks that I'm looking at all around there as well. This recovery is more brutal than I thought, but I do think pullback back to the 20 is in order. Let's have a look at the 20 moving average here and think about what's happened in this move so far. So we've had buying pressure off the 20, buying pressure off the 20, buying pressure off the 20. Any pullback now, do you think we might have buying pressure off the 20? 1, 2, 3. Technically, you would think yes. The business says I bought one GME at 300. Well, at least you only bought one. The question is, have you learnt from it? Or do you, if you learn from it, I busted way more money than that in my time. Don't worry. Learning some of the stuff I've done. Oh, man. I remember back in the day, I was trading interest rate decision. I've told a few guys here in the room. And that interest rate was during the global financial crisis. And I bet that they were going to have an interest rate cut. And obviously the market didn't quite expect that. Plus it was very fast. So I straddled the market. So if you don't know what straddles are, let's say price is hovering here before a market. Straddle. So basically I put a sell in here with a stop loss behind it. So I put a sell here. If it goes underneath, I put my stop loss here and I put a buy. Now there is a problem with this. Can anyone see what the problem may be? So the price is sitting in here and then it goes bang like that. I'm thinking, oh my God, I have my take profit down here. I make about $8,000 in about 10 seconds or something. I was like, oh my God, I'm the best trader in the world. All right. Bad. It's actually bad. It took me a little while to get over that. But what then happened is I thought, oh, straddling, what an easy method to do. This is really great. So the euro has an interest rate decision on it. What do? I straddle it. Same thing. Tight stop loss, big contract, etc. What happens? Bang, bang. Like that instantly. Here's an interesting... and then, of course, what happens? I get taken out both sides and it completely blows both the ends out because the spread widened so much and I was so close to price in some ways that I got hit on both sides. So there's a learning experience. Now, the question was, did I ever do it again? The answer is no. So lucky I did that. Artist says disagree re Tilray. So when you say disagree, I'm interested in your opinion there, Artist. Why do you disagree? Do you think it's because it's not worth anything or not worth that price? Do you believe it's going up or down? Let me know. Just to say up or down. Up or down why you think that. Mountain Fortress says, but won't oil die when Biden pushes green tech? Yeah, absolutely. Look, I've said this for a few times. I'm bullish oil into these prices. I'm actually bullish oil possibly to 70, but 65 is good enough for me. After that point, am I bullish oil anymore? I believe for me, this is the last time I might trade oil again, but I probably won't buy oil companies ever again. This will be the last time for me. I'm out. It's the end of a great era because I just don't feel confident in them all. And I've said this a lot of times with trading guys, you got to be confident in the stuff. If we're confident in our trades, then we can hold the trades. How many times have you guys been in a trade and you're like, yeah. And like Bitcoin, it comes down 10%. And you're like, oh, I better take profit. The next day it's up 30%. You're like, damn it, why did I do that? Because you broke your rules and you didn't have confidence in your trade. If you have no confidence, don't even bother with it. We just broke gold 1821.50. So where should I end my TP? All right. So with gold... Well, you've got these nice little kind of daily little bit of rejections. But as I said, it's very murky here. So if gold continues up, 1830, 1833 is like a zone. You can see the 1830s, a lot of resistance. You also have that 1827. But for now, you're pretty much in what you would say fairly clean pasture. Now, I'm assuming you traded this, which would be much nicer if you did. See here, you've got this little market structure. It's actually a nice little market structure. Not bad, actually. So nice amounts of buying wicks, nice amounts of congestion. You get the structure, the buy happens, it closes above, and then just to prove it to you, just to prove it's gotten through, we get a buy wick, and a buy wick. 3, the triple threat right here, plus another fourth one that touches the zone. Nice. It's actually a pretty good little trade here. Well done. 15-minute. Nice. Great market structure. Going into the resistance here in a little 200, so that might find a little bit of pressure. But yeah, lots of buy wicks. It snaps it off and it starts to buy pressure here. That's the kind of thing, like if you see this on a daily, it's much better. I'm not a fan of this time frame or the 5 or the 1 minute, but yeah, that's the type of thing you look for. Lots of structure with heaps of wicks off this area. It's always really nice. B Diggs says still holding AMC. Good luck, B Diggs. Where is that question here? Thomas Love says, green tech is a pipe dream. You're going to fly a battery-powered plane. I agree with you, Thomas Love. It's just more that you're not going to have as much demand for it. And not as much demand is a problem. What do I think is going to happen with Tesla on market open? Well, right now, if the US 100 holds where it is, things are going to be pretty good. Let's go here. Go to the dark theme. Load up the appearance here. Get a 32. So 13,851. Now, my traditional kind of thought process is we usually have a bit of a green coming into the market
your entire stock.
after, or theoretically after the long weekend. But things aren't so peachy the next week. So we've got here an RSI, and I don't usually use RSI, but I'll discuss it with you guys anyway. Donation coming in here from Janelle PMG. Good morning, everyone. $4.99. Good morning, Janelle, I think, PMG. Good morning to you as well. Hopefully you're having a great day there, Janelle. And thank you again for the donation. Appreciate it. Darcy Duckworth, what is structure? Still learning. So structure is just a bit of a hipster term really for market price action. So structure basically is this. If you have a point where the market is kind of stuck between and the candles kind of are holding in this area, anywhere here is really you're starting to create structure. So here's some structure. It's where you get that consolidation level or zone. That's generally what people refer to as structure. Structure also can mean something like this. So it's like a little inverse head and shoulders here. It's effectively a structure formation of price. Remember, if we're thinking of price as psychology of the market, here's some structure here, then all we're doing is we're just interpreting each one of these candles as what's the psychology telling me. US 100 finding lots and lots of bullish momentum, still hasn't given us the 20 pullback yet after all of that interesting kind of time. We hit the trend line in the S&P, which we'll look at soon. But the RSI above this zone, above the 70 or 80 kind of area, it hasn't happened for quite some time. Here it happened, and it did start to sell off a little bit after. So you can see where that was. Sold off a little bit after. Here it happened, sold off. We're not quite there yet, but when we get there, I expect the sell-off to occur. If the RSI can get up here, it probably will sell off. Here, you'll notice there was a bigger run. That was when that super euphoria happened. Now, if you see super euphoria like we had over this section, and the RSI goes ballistic, you know the pullback's going to be way more severe, especially on the daily. Thomas Love says, in your opinion, Tom, can cryptos keep rising if share markets fall? What is the correlation between shares and cryptos? Well, we can probably do that together right now. Let's have a look here. So we'll get US 500 up, which is just the futures of the S&P. You can see those futures testing that trend line onto the open as well. This trend line pretty much is the SPX one. So it's right on there right now, just 0.3% up, but definitely on that area. And then we'll do a comparison, and we should be able to load BTC. Which one will we use? BTC, USD. We'll use the Bitstamp one. All right. And then we'll go to line. I think I'll have to do it the other way around because of the extreme gains. Yeah, I will. Okay, let me just quickly reset this. Extreme gains will not allow us to correlate them very easily, it looks like, because percentage-wise, obviously, Bitcoin smokes the other. Let's have a look here, compare. No? All right. There is a correlation, and the correlation is generally fairly negative. So what that means is if the stock market has a lot of fear in it, it does put a huge amount of pressure on. That's not going to work there, but I will get you one. I'll put it in a video because it's meant to be something I was doing the other day. Let me see if I can remove these. Maybe that clean it up a little bit. All right, so let's go 4 hour. No, weekly maybe. Nope, not at all. I don't have it right now, but I will get the correlation thing done for you. When it fell, like we saw the flash crash over here, of course, Bitcoin went down, slow, gradual go up. Then we saw September. So notice here, we know that the market crashed or fell in September. See how Bitcoin also fell quite a lot during that period. So again, it's correlated. Recently, the stock market can go up and Bitcoin can go down just through its normal run. So I would say yes, Bitcoin is generally correlated, but here we did have that kind of pullback in October and it didn't correlate well with US 500. So generally speaking, yes, but I think it has to be a proper correction. And what I mean by that is 10% or more. If you get a 10% or more stock market fall, it dumps crypto at the same time. This chart not showing it for us, but yeah, that's what it is. Yes, the market is closed today. We're just having a look at the futures markets. We're looking at silver, gold. I know tomorrow we'll resume. Don't worry. Stock market will be doing. Janelle, PMG, $4.99. Thank you again for the donation there. Are we allowed to say things like IRS, shadow banned, and things of those nature on chats? I have a hard time knowing what can or can't. I have no idea. I don't live in America, but that being said, I really don't know. Ask maybe one of the mods living in America would know. Mods, what do you guys think? I do not know at all. All I know is we try not to get political on the channel, that's for sure. Bitcoin players and people that trade this is key levels for the week. 46,000 flat, and then the 44, if we get through there, they'll be sharp, fast moves. So if we do sell off here for whatever reason, because we've hit that little bit of resistance, this will be the level, and then this will be the level. Looks like Bitcoin is coming into some pressure right now from the sell. We might just watch this for a few minutes. Let's have a look at the 15-minute chart here. What's been happening here? Little bit of a kind of steep trend line buying up, and it looks like it's just failed that. So it was steeply buying up here. This wasn't just a coincidence. 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of buys. We get a close under here. It'll be worth our time watching it. Bitcoin incredibly hard to short against, but certainly possibly doing some weakness. Now I don't like 15 minutes so much, but yeah, that is the key zone. Pablo de Waga says, what is your view on British pound Canadian dollar sell these days? British pound CAD. Hey, why not? Let's have a look. The great thing about technical analysis is we're learning as a team or as a community regardless of what we're looking at. So it's the same because it's the same thing. Now I said to someone before I'd look at lumber as well. We'll check that out. So British pound CAD, not a favorite in the world for me, and this is why. You look at this. Does anyone really want to trade this? It's so ugly. Whew, that's ugly. Everywhere it goes, it's up, down, all around, spiking all over the place. No clear trend. I'm always like, no, thank you. Very rarely do I put this one on my charts. That being said, it's coming straight up to a very critical level on the weekly. Let's have a look here at the monthly. Notice how there's not been one monthly break, not one monthly break for quite some time above this zone. What happened last time we got a monthly break? It led to some big buying opportunities because this is almost 10 cents. This one here, not so much. So no monthly breaks above this zone. Firstly, that's what I'm looking at. Pound CAD, definitely looking at the monthly break. We're not that long away from that. Weekly, we also haven't had some. So what I would be doing is something like this. Notice when it broke through last time, it just came straight back down. So I'd be looking at like waiting for a close, waiting for a pullback, huge amounts of structure through here in the pound CAD, and then of course waiting for the pickup. Now, part of the reason it's moving this way is also oil. Remember, CAD is very determinant on that. Kevin says, that was me re-lumber, your favorite lumberjack. We'll certainly check that out. But yeah, it's great resistance here. So that's my kind of up, top, down so far. Price action's looking good. I don't really particularly like anything I'm seeing here. There's no clear patterns or anything. Nothing clear again. So for me, just that kind of monthly. Let's have a look at lumber. Why not? Can we get lumber on this even? Lumber... Do you know what lumber's code is, Kevin? I can see it on here, of course. Oh, look at platinum, 4.11. God, that was a great trade. Such a beautiful ascending that just led itself to so much gains. Platinum 1310 now. I should have held even more. Ah, well. That's trading. You get in, you hold the levels. So let's have a look now. Where is the lumber? I know it's on this screen. Here it is. $979.40. So it's almost hitting the 1,000 break. Wow, that is huge. The roll contracts would have been severe on this one. So we've got 280 up to 1,000. So you would have to think this is a demand due to rebuilds in the economy. Is that what's leading it? just building of infrastructure, just a massive requirement for lumber right now, and obviously it's a resource that's under pressure. That's a huge amount of build pressure here. Has it even been? Let's go to the monthly again here. So even during the 2009 recovery, it wasn't even that high. Now it's just mental. I mean, I have seen this chart recently, but I was kind of looking at it around here. Almost $1,000. I might have a look at correlations on that one for a video in the future. By the way, thank you very much for the 843 viewers. I mean, we've got so many viewers here and the market's not even open. So that just shows how much you guys are liking the streams. Remember, let me know what you want to see more of on the streams. I've got a overlay that I should have up for tomorrow. Obviously, new intro. If you missed that, go back to the start, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. Sunny Prajapati? Maybe. I butchered your name, but thank you very much. It was giving me $40 there. INR US dollar analyst. I assume you mean have a look at the analyze that one. So that is Indian ringgit, I believe, in US dollar. We'll load that up. Let's have a look. Yeah, do I type in USD and get it? Indian rupee, that's the one. So 0.013 to the US dollar. I don't know what's going here with the volume, so we'll get rid of that. Pretty nice recovery going on here. Let's go to the monthly. Looks like I'd have very little data, or not as much data as I would have hoped. So monthly, it's been a massive decline. Probably due to stimulus that they've been pumping through. That's been a massive decline. Now it's broken. This is actually about to happen. So this is a very significant period in time here. We've got what we call the lightning on the monthly. We've got movement up, peak, higher trough, higher peak forming. That's actually pretty significant to further bullish momentum here from the INR. This is all on that time frame. Then we go down to the weekly. Nice little trend appearing here. You can probably guess that on the smaller time frames, it's following a moving average on the way up. We do have a problem that's going to happen very, very soon, which will be this previous support acting as resistance during this bull run. I think it may have troubles here. Don't know the fundamentals too much on what's going on. I know there's a lot of stimulus coming out though across the world, which is leading to a lot of this. Daily moving decent amount. So daily 20 moving average held it. It's above these kind of resistances. Any pullback now to this zone, this 0.0137, should act as some support. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to see it push back into this level. Some resistance here, gets through here. Very nice movements up. Continue to watch this one. Worthwhile. I'll probably load it and have a look. Would you recommend bonds for long term? I think cannabis will go up during April. I think that, look, cannabis definitely has its own, it'll have some pumps in it moving forward. Bonds, yeah, I think they will. Bond market, and a few people have rightfully called this, is actually probably the biggest bubble. You want to talk about bubbles? It's in the bond market. I don't even get the bond market anymore. It makes very little sense. Darren says, new to crypto, when are good times of the day for trading? I'm US based. Crypto seems to trade all over the time. It trades quite nicely in the morning. We've seen the back end of the European session, so the European into US Open, kind of around this time, around that 10 o'clock PM my time, which was, what, an hour 40 ago. It's been pretty good. Asian sessions also pretty big on crypto due to the huge demand across those areas. I find crypto trades at all times of the day. Just when it's on, it's on. Daily candles can be very good to look at as well. We can see BTC 47.5 right now. Dave says, yeah, I definitely can't give you financial advice. I can't do that. Dash is my new fave, says Lil Engine. So let's have a look at Dash, because this is one that had massive runs on it in 17, and it's come back into favor just recently. I almost mentioned it on the channel the other day. let's just put this in perspective of where Dash got to last time. So during the last Dash movement, Dash actually bulled all the way up here to $1,600 a coin. Now it's trading about, what, $260. So let's have a look at what the recovery was like so far today. Bullish engulf. Nice bullish engulf, nice movement up. So Dash is certainly on the move, and it's been in a nice run. It looks like it's trying to get to a new high as well. Just put it in perspective though. That's the movement on it recently. It's broken past those 19 highs because this one's had some runs in it. So it had a 19 run in it. It had an early January run in it back to 127, failed in March, hovered for some time, had the 4th of Jan. And actually people that were picking this particular coin up here around 100 were making a very interesting decision. Now we're putting pressure back on the previous supports that it kind of got through. And this was one of the later running coins. So it ran hard at the late cycle of that bubble that happened in 17. And it was pretty much apexing at the same time as Ethereum was. So it's actually running quite well behind that. Sunny says, watch BSE, Sensex. You be crazy today. In IND market boom. Yeah, the market is booming very much in the Nifty and stuff like that. It's going crazy. People that haven't seen this one, check this out. Woo! Yeah, let's go. This is going to cause an epic bubble. This is the Indian market. Check out this. The Nifty 50 just absolutely powering. So much riches have come from this one. This is when they put stimulus. They basically put a rocket ship under. We talk about the Nasdaq being wild. Check this out. 7.5 up to a 15.4. To put that in perspective, Nasdaq still trading under the gains found in the Indian market on just this one. Insane. Little Engine says there's talk of Dash going to 500. Why not 1,500? Eh? Oh yeah, no, I know it's not $40, Siddharth. It's like not much at all, if I remember. I can see, but I do appreciate the donation there. But yeah, Nifty 50 has just been insane, the gains here. And if you understand policy as well, this is the cool thing about when you think about policy in the stock market. You know, we haven't seen really policy like this from the Fed in some ways, but in Australia, we had a very similar candle to this, and it was formed after they gave tax deductions and all those things. Remember, the biggest rule of thumb to follow investments in the stock market, follow tax, gov incentives. The only reason in many ways Tesla is where it is, government backed really in some ways. And then of course, new policies. So for me, if I'm following a long-term investment, I look at this more than I look at a lot of other things. Then I just go find the best fundamental companies and do it that way. Let's do a quick scan here. Actually, we'll do a scan tomorrow. So join us then. We'll actually be scanning for stocks. I'll show you some of the ways that I think about scanning for stocks. So definitely subscribe and come visit us tomorrow. I'll go through a couple of stocks that I'm still looking at, a couple of ones that I think may have some more runs in them. This is Square, worthwhile having on your charts. Now, there was a great entrance at 200 only a few weeks ago. Now people are anticipating, of course, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies coming into this. The same things happen with PayPal. The same things happen with MasterCard and Visa, etc. Visa's a bit sleeping above the resistance. Let's have a look at Visa. Notice Visa kind of hovering all around this zones. But whenever you see a crypto announcement right now, things are going wild. So Square's certainly being purchased in for that news. You look at PayPal. PayPal's been on a rocket ship since, of course, around the same point that crypto got massive. PayPal went from 231 to 300. So some pretty large gains here in those stocks. Another one that I'm going to be looking at this week is going to be Net. Net had a pretty big decline coming through after breaking structure. General target is 100, gets towards that kind of 95, breaks down. This is Cloudflare. Maybe now a movement up. This is very similar to the other one in terms of return. BSE, Sensex, the Nifty. Very, very large movements here. In terms of where the pullbacks have come to, the deeper pullback has been the 50 moving average. So I believe during most of the pullbacks here, every time it's hitting this 50, stimulus is coming through. There was stimulus here, if I remember rightly, and of course this was super stimulus. Go back over to the room here. Dogecoin. People are saying Dogecoin. What's happening on Doge? Dogecoin weakening. Finding a little bit of weakness there. BTC kind of just hovering around. But Dogecoin is finding some weakness. That's correct. Yeah, the stock market is not open right now. If it was, we'd be going through all of that stuff as per usual. Tomorrow we will be streaming. We'll be streaming into the open. So, of course, join us then. We've got 850 viewers right now. So thanks so much for joining us today. Just going through some of the things that I thought were interesting. Silver looks like it's having a bit of a move on it here. We just broke a new high in the futures. Here it is, 1 hour, 10 minutes. We'll watch this. Watch the clear of 27.63. Gold still not coming with it so much. Look at this, 18.22. Silver just doing its own thing. Is the squeeze back on here? ETH playing with 1800. XRP doing basically nothing, trading around 57. Let's go over to the cryptos. Quickly press refresh here. Have a look at the top ones. Not too many movements. Like these are all recovered from how low they were. They were down over 10%. Now we're recovered up. You'll notice some of the ones that are weaker to recover generally means the sentiment is poorer behind them. Something like Cardano was incredibly quick to recover. So was DOT. Dash down here, actually up over that period. And of course the 119% gain coming into it. 264 for Dash, still very low on what it was. Neo is another one that I'm surprised about. Check this out in the chart for Neo. Just because every coin seems to be having its run. Neo, again, another late cycle. In fact, the latest. Look at this. It didn't really move until around that December period. And then it had that short, sharp burst up to about $130, $140. It's now on an interesting run again. Do I know much about Neo? No. But it's very interesting to see. These were the late runners in the cycle. I do believe, though, if we keep seeing all these coins going, there's going to be a brutal sell-off that'll occur. Didn't really get the closure under this 15-minute the way you'd want to. If you had it down here, a lot more bearish. Of course, bullish sentiment coming back in with a hammer. Interesting. Let's go over to the room, see what everyone's saying. Cardano starting to move, says Ryan RG. Yep, makes sense. BTC falling. BTC is hovering. XRP is having a bit of a wobbly. Yeah, XRP is certainly not that strong. Bitcoin's here, don't worry. 47,781. Jager Croft coming in with Canadian $2. Thank you very much, Jager. LDI Loan Depot Inc. What's your thoughts? All right, let's have a look. LDI. First thing you do whenever you look at something like this, you want to look at the monthly. Is that really all the data we have? Is a new one? Okay. Jager, what is this? So it's only had, what, 1 day of trade or something? Or a few days of trade? Okay. Well, my thoughts are I would need to go and do some research on it. From a technical perspective, if this is a SPAC or something, I assume it's a SPAC. Okay, I mean, all you can say here is it's been finding some support through this zone. But this is a 15-minute chart. That's as low as we can go. There's just no structure yet. From a technical analysis perspective, when this type of thing happens, you really have no TA. Anyone that says, oh, I've got TA, I know Not really. You just know that it's trading around the kind of normal human psychology, which is it hits 30, finds resistance. It hits just before 40, finds resistance. If it goes through 40, where does it target 50? Finds resistance before that, etc., etc. Now that it's back around the 30 zone, will it find some kind of support? Definitely possible. That being said, there's absolutely no structure here for us, unfortunately. Maha says, do you think Bitcoin will rise? Yeah, I do. I mean, I've said this a few times, obviously on TradingView. It had an ascending that it broke underneath, but doesn't change my opinion here. We never got the proper closures through the top. If Bitcoin goes now, I mean, I think it's really shooting for over 50,000, and there's certainly some more pressure that can be put on it. Possibly the 100,000 is a possibility. I mean, the $500,000 calls in a year, I think that's a bit crazy, but never say never to 50 to 100 for sure. Is the market closed today? It certainly is closed today. We're just doing gold, silver, looking at those ones. Saw that beautiful structure coming through the 15-minute there. Let's have a look at the silver. We've got 6 minutes coming up to the close. So 6 minutes here for the 1 hour. You did miss us talk about AMC. So we talked about the levels, but basically it's just holding the structure, and we want to see 650 break for any bullish intentions to come back into it. Here's the resistance that's broken so far on silver. Can we hold above it? Looks kind of like a little inverse head and shoulders, yeah? But this resistance is cool, 2760. Starting to struggle. 5 more minutes left and silver's coming back down. Let's load up a couple of screens next side by side and watch a few favorites just for a moment here. We'll probably use the 4. Make these ones dark. All right, we've got silver up there. Let's load up here Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is worthwhile putting on the charts. Kind of want to watch Dash actually. I think that's pretty interesting. Now, where did I see Dash? Over here maybe. Let's have a look here. Reddit trending cryptos. Select subreddit. We'll do this one. We'll go last 24 hours. What's going on over here? Let's see. Is there any Dash in this one? Okay, so no Dash there. Let's have a look at Twitter trending cryptos. No Dash really in that one either. I did see it before. It was in one of these. Probably this one. There it is. Aha, the street bets. Anything with street bets on it, you know, is a pump. Dash here coming in. And that is clearly the favored one through the Satoshi. This is a good website. I'll share it with you guys. If you enjoy this website, I'm going to hold you to hopefully subscribing if you get this one. There we go. Bang, bang, bang. There it is. Number 1. Let's have a look at the last 7 days. ETH. So Dash really just coming into its own. Let's have a look at the last 12 hours. Doge. Okay, so Dash was a little while ago. AVDS coming in with $5. Thank you very much there, AVDS. Tom, 1 second. Tom, please have a look at US dollar 1 hour. Looks like a good entry. All right, man. Let's have a look at that. US dollar. We'll use Kraken data. Down to the 1 hour here was the requirement. So we've broken past the previous resistances. We've broken through any of this downward trending kind of scenario that you might have. Yeah, that's good. It is a pretty strong recovery here. Let's go the 4 hour. I mean, there's so much strength in this DOT and the Cardano right now. Daily looks amazing. 8 hours, obviously that strong rejection. We're going to close above that, showing more bullish pressure. This looks like just like a standard kind of flash with pickup. A lot of those signs there. 2 hour, pretty strong. 1 hour, of course, as I said, above the previous peaks over here, showing strength. There's a lot of strength here in DOT, no doubt. My way of approaching this usually, the problem is you can't so much in crypto, is that we're getting through the 28, which is great. then usually you have that kind of push up, you have a pullback back to this kind of line, and then you move forward towards the 30. Notice how it stops just at the 30 and finds the resistance as well. Psychological number. Yes, this looks incredibly strong, AVDS. And yes, everything that's signing into it looks strong. We know usually when crypto goes through one of these flashes with a heavy recovery, it does tend to break through previous resistance as well. Good luck on that one. First Last says the one dislike on your video is the Bitcoin bear. Could be the Bitcoin bear, First Last. Matthew Tainch coming in with Australian $10. Thank you very much, Matthew. What do you think about commodities in the next 1 to 5 years? Also checked out channel break CHF JPY. Cool, man. We'll have a look at that. So in answer to the question, yes, I don't mind it. I love down here. I love all those rejection wicks. That's the one thing I love about crypto. You know when you get the rejection wicks like that and it breaks that new high here, oh, it's rocket ship. Looks good though. See, my thoughts on commodities. So my thoughts on commodities is we get strong moves for about 18 months to 3 years after the start. So let's consider the starting point pretty much flat on March last year. If we consider that the starting point, and then we think about what happened last time, 2009, we had the low. Where can I find this for you? Let's just use silver as an example, because silver's a used metal as well. So we had that, well, let's go out here, go to weekly. So we had the 2008, 2009 kind of low in the market. We saw a recovery. It hit the kind of high and it kept going all the way up for basically 2 years. This is the type of window where you'll see demand from governments for builds coming through. And this is definitely the zone that I would be targeting. That kind of 18 months, as I said, to 3 year window for materials. I do think there's more in them. I do. Look at that lumber chart before that Kevin put up. My goodness. This time round though, it's more hyperactive than it used to be. So a lot of the iron ore spiked incredibly just straight away. A lot of others did as well. What was it? CHF, JPY. Let's have a look at that one. We'll keep watching that story on materials, but I think there's more in it. And they've been artificially held down for quite some time against inflation. This is a very nice channel or area that you're seeing here just in terms of straight resistance. What you'll notice is that there's clear market structure right over here. So I think you're probably thinking that it might be on daily. Here's the daily. Yes, you're correct. It's clear breakout happening right now. We're about to see the daily. The way you play this, we know there's, well, firstly, you want to take that structure difference. We know the closure's coming through. So we wait for maybe a pullback, maybe take some on the break, wait for the movement. This is probably going to proof pretty well as well. Let's take the proof here. Matthew, this is very nice. Check that out. Well spotted. Break, close, 119 flat pretty much is your target. Risk reward's probably not worth it right now. So you probably want a bit of a pullback and then, yeah, take it into the 119. Nice structure. Beautiful structure here as well. Beautiful, beautiful resistance. Look at how many times that's touched. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I still get excited about these kind of things, but that's beautiful structure. Well done, Matthew. $77. Sandola. Welcome. Now, Sandola, did you see the new intro? I hope you did. $4 donation there for a coffee. Thank you very much, Sandola. Siddharth says, big digs, Tom drives a Lambo. Contrary to most, or counter to everyone's beliefs, I would never own a Lambo. And it's not because I don't like Lambos. It's because cars, and some people, don't dislike me, guys, are a crap investment. And any true investor will hate the car because it loses so much value. That being said, if I had enough money, I'd probably go buy one of those crazy Ferraris if I can get on the list. The problem is, I have some good watches and stuff, but that's because they mostly go up. The thing with the Ferraris is you can't buy any of the good ones. They just yell at you and you don't get them. Unless you buy all their crap ones first. Or you know somebody. So yes, no, I don't drive any of those kind of good cars. $77, $5. Thank you very much, Sandollar. Last month's jobs report had 6% unemployment. Wrong, he says. Federal Reserve admitted this. Weak unemployment is above 10%. Well, Sandollar, yes. Since when has non-farm payrolls been the correct number? Every time through this last crisis, it's been absolutely crap. The number's been a lie, and then it's been refined after that, and then everyone's like, it's all good, don't worry. But the problem is, Sandollar, even if the number's bad, they're just every country in the world's just pumping artificial stimulus across it. It's really, really annoying. Here's a few people are agreeing with me on this one. Sadar says sage boomer advice. Johnny Bravo says classic baby boomer. Stonks only go up says that's why I always drive a Lada. Isn't that like the horrible car? Stonks only go up. Isn't that a really bad one? Hexcoin says a solid gold. Lambo. Keith says Ferrari. Tesla says Christina Scold. Hey, you can have a nice car, guys. Dirt bikes. There's nothing wrong with dirt bikes. Dharmik says GME will touch sky high tonight. Well, if it was open, it would trade. It would definitely touch the sky high. We don't have a stock market yet. Graham says, yeah, never bought a new car. You know, I got like rich people I know. They drive like the worst cars you've ever seen. They drive a bomb. In fact, a lot of them drive bombs to work so that no one knows they have any money. It's pretty funny. Soviet car is the Lada. Yeah, I saw it on Top Gear. I remember seeing it on Top Gear. Lada. Let me have a look. Let me have a look at this car. I'm sure it's hideous. Oh yes, that's a good car. All right, let's get back into some crypto and currency and commodities. So the one, where's our silver? So our silver, let's have a look at the 1 hour close there. So it did get quite just above. Didn't have that strong kind of full bullish pressure, but it's coming through after the 5 minutes here on the 12 o'clock. We are getting bullish pressure. I hope silver holds up. I mean, you guys know I like the silver. So I do hope it holds up. Bitcoin made a new little high there. Hit the 48,000 dash. Doing its thing. Trading 264. US 500 futures. What's going on in these US 500 futures? They'll be so bad today. You want to talk about watching paint dry? Watch these futures. Pretty much these two levels. It's creating structure though. So on the 15 minutes, you could probably put little support here. Little resistance up here. Hey, we've got some crappy future structure. I just wouldn't trust it. Kevin says he drove a Lada. And you live to see another day. Stonks only go up, say, I can see you like it, Tom. Little known fact, my first car ever, Datsun. Does anyone know what a Datsun is? That's a bad car. Datsun, my Datsun was in miles per hour, which in Australia is not normal. And it had a sticker for doing conversion to kilometers per hour. That was pretty awesome. Don't think it basically couldn't do 100, but yeah, I was always interested to see. I've driven some nice ones. I have driven some nice cars. Okay, what are we looking at? Gold, 1822. Dollar index, 90.37. Yeah, silver doing its whatever. Let's have a look at the coins. Anything happening in the coins? It is a bit of a slow morning here. I just thought I'd go live just to, of course, show you guys that I care a lot. And I want to do these Mondays every single week if we can. This one, XRP coming up to a tough point. 20-50 moving average. Previous support could act as resistance. Like the Doji coins, kind of got that weird structure pressure. I'm still looking at 0.64 as my major alert level on this one. But I do think it's going to get a little bit slower here. Big Dig says, haha, I had a Datsun. Used to be a good car. Not when I got it. Had drum brakes, man. Drum brakes. AKA says, hi, Tom. What do you think of Hedera Hashgraph? Okay. H bar. Hedera Hashgraph. Kind of like its name, Hedera Hashgraph. Why not? Let's have a look at the weekly. I assume it's on a rocket ship right now. Okay, it certainly is. Has very little history. Ran around the same time as most other cryptos started. Go to the daily. Okay, 20 moving average. Okay. I can get into that. I can get into this 20 moving average hold coming through. Exponential. Weird candles everywhere. Probably candles like this usually show low volume to me. And very jittery style market. When you start seeing, so say you ever see this. I've had this question before. Whenever you see price like this, and this could be just bad price coming in from whatever. But if you ever see gold do this, and it's like big wicks either side, and there's like heaps of them like that, it usually means low liquidity. We did actually have a period last year where that happened. Gold spread blew out to $3. They actually lost liquidity due to the amount of transactions on it. This is certainly a massive rocket ship. I don't know what the hell the base is on this thing, so I'd probably stay clear of it. Daily here on the dollar index, big shooting star rejection, heaps of buying pressure coming through this 90.25, but this will be something I'm looking at closely this week for the stock market. SPX, let's have a quick look at that. Trend line still holding. Now, if we open where I believe the S&P is right, which is about 39.51, it's going to hit straight back into that trend line. Break of this trend line will make me sad. Not for my investment portfolio, but it'll make me sad because I like this trend line. I like the resistances that we're finding on this trend line. Just little hit. Yeah, come back to the 20. Come on. That's all we need. That's all we need, guys. Can you make it happen? Datsun 260Z is cool. See, a lot of people in here are smart. Look at you guys driving those weird cars. Those ugly cars and quality cars. That's good. Mr. Buff08 says, have you looked at the UK market this week? Sinwell looks like it's got potential for a short. EasyJet looks like something. We haven't looked at that, but let's have a quick look at some indices of the world. Let's go have a look at UK 100. Nice breakout here, quite strong. Go to the 4 hour. It's been struggling, but look at that resistance. Resistance. We break out. We start to see some strength there. I did notice that today when I was trading the Australian market. Nice buying through here. This has been a interesting kind of movement. We had a nice movement up recently, but this market's been, again, quite depressing compared to some. Let's have a look at the ASX 200 quickly for the Australians. I will use futures market, put them together. Should get an Oanda one or something. Why is this not coming up? There it is. ASX 200 still kind of hovering and teetering on the edge, just waiting for the US. I don't have much to say about this right now other than it's waiting for the US. You ever looked into Riot? Yeah, we've looked at Riot at DSD. Absolutely. Yeah, we know why today's stock market is not open. There you go. I'll highlight the answer for you. Thank you, Tom. You should definitely look more into Hedera Hashgraph. Great potential working with big firms like Google, IBM, and many more. Yeah, look, a lot of these cryptos do that. But again, there's so many of them. There was one the other day that was making heaps of money. All right, guys. Well, we're here at 12:30 a.m. Obviously, we've gone through the markets that are happening right now. Let's just quickly recap a few things. Bitcoin I'll go over to the black screen. Bitcoin is doing all right. It's kind of just recovering. We saw ADA had a really nice pickup. Dash has kind of been a standout for the last couple of days. That's been moving very, very heavily. S&P set to open tomorrow. Join us tomorrow. I'm excited. I have stocks. I have scanners for you guys that I'm going to be looking at. So many things for tomorrow. Hopefully a new overlay. We've got the new intro coming through as well. But yeah, at this stage, all I can say is subscribe to the channel. Keep watching silver. Keep looking at the cryptos. I think that may have been, hopefully, all we had in terms of the shakeout. But if the shakeout continues, anything under 46 exposes 44 for BTC. Look at support resistances for BTC to give you sentiment for almost every other coin. And of course, Ethereum will trade a little bit by itself. I do still think Ethereum is fairly undervalued to BTC as an exchange. I'll leave you with the stream starting material just so you can see. Oh, actually, I know what I'll leave you with today. I'll leave you with this. Let me just load this beastie up. All right, guys, here we go. We'll watch it together. All right, here we go. Crash DAC 100 confirmed. Dr. Hort says he's excited for tomorrow. $10, thank you. Thank you, everybody. It's going to be a great time. Here we go. Alright guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Hope you enjoy that intro. And oh, don't worry, Kevin, I don't hate Datsun, I just hated my Datsun. I'll try not to ever think of that car again. But it bought me some stock when I sold it, so it was all good. Alright, see everybody. Have